Hi, my name's Lesley and I came to see Stephen Chan about 2 months ago. I was quite ill for a really long time with various medical problems. I had to come through quite a severe withdrawal from medication, and as a result I was having issues with food and the smell of food. I couldn't find any help and nobody could understand really what it was about. So I had looked through various things. I saw the Thrive programme on the internet. I looked at it and I was under the impression that I could see Stevie and he would hypnotise me and go 1, 2, 3, smells no longer bother you. So I went to see him and that actually wasn't the case. We had a bit of a chat. During the chat I was surprised to find out that I'm a control freak, and also that my smell problem was something that I was actually doing to myself, and it was a bit like an eating disorder. So I left our initial meeting a bit confused. Then, after 48 hours, chatting to friends and family who all agreed with Stevie that I am actually a control freak. And because I had past issues with food, I had been anorexic, I had been anorexic in my early teens and bulimic in my 20s into my 30s, and probably still had issues with food, that this smell thing could possibly be one of those. So I had to admit there may have been some truth in what Stevie had said to me. So I came along for my first meeting. At this stage I was unable to eat anything savoury. I couldn't be in a room with my family when they were eating. I couldn't be downstairs in our home if anyone was cooking. And it was more than just not liking the smell. I was actually throwing up and was becoming even more ill because of the whole thing. So after our first meeting we had a bit of a chat and I realised it wasn't going to be hypnosis or anything like that. It really was just understanding that what I was doing to myself was allowing other things to affect my thought processes, allowing my brain to get confused by the pain that I was in and the illnesses I had to deal with. And that if I could regain control of my thought processes, understand the Thrive programme and how it worked, understand how to regain control, then it would work for me. And amazingly that day, after not doing very much other than talking to each other and Stevie explaining the programme to me, what I would do at home, I was given the booklet and told you have to do it. There's no point in buying into it a little bit. You have to do the whole thing. So I promised I would do that. But actually that day on my way home, I went with my 20-year-old son and we got pizza and brought it home and had that for our dinner. And everybody who knew me was amazed because I'd eaten nothing savoury for about 6 months or more. I sat with my family that night and ate, and that was literally just after one treatment. So our ongoing sessions, then he had 6 in total, and during the sessions I just felt my confidence grew, my understanding of how to control my thoughts grew. Working through the programme, I found it quite easy. I found it very empowering. I found the exercises easy to do, and although at times it was a bit emotional for me because I had to let go of things that I'd thought for a very long time, I had to revisit some areas of my life where I had allowed my thought processes to get out of control. So I would have done things like felt ugly, fat, thought my husband didn't love me, wouldn't have understood why people might like me, things like that. And when I realised actually the person in the middle of it all who was being destructive towards me, that wasn't other people, it wasn't my husband, it wasn't my family. I had to admit to myself that all along it was me, and it was me that allowed those thought processes to enter my life, to take me over, and to just really mess me up. And the amount that can actually do to you can be devastating, and I was a perfect example of that. So Stephen Chan was so encouraging throughout, and at every session he would congratulate me on whatever the next step that I had reached, and that really helped. I found it actually helped me more than the book. And she come to the session, I just felt that yes, I am doing really well, and this is really good, and this is changing my life, and it's changing my life in a huge way. To be able, I was afraid to ask my husband, did he love me? Because I didn't want to hear the answer. And I have done that now, and I know that he does love me, and my kids love me, I have friends who love me, and I don't let people who might suggest negative things get into my head any longer. And they were getting into my head, and they were very destructive. And I think if you know my background, where I have a lot to cope with because I have a degenerative spinal condition, and it means I am in constant daily pain. I have other illnesses that all contribute to pain as well. And I want to overcome that. I don't want that to beat me. And although it's a degenerative condition, it can't be cured. I have to live with it. I could be in a wheelchair, but I'm not. I'm walking, albeit with help, with a frame, but that's to stop me falling over in public, so that's kind of a necessity. But mind over matter has helped in more ways than one. I came to be cured from my smell issue, and I walked away after 6 sessions a completely different person, a stronger person mentally, a stronger wife to my husband, where I'm not so flaky anymore, a stronger mother to my children, because I don't worry that they're going to die every time they walk out the front door. So I have strength in so many ways. I'm really appreciative of people that I have around me who have always been strong for me, and I can deal now with the people that were around me who were always negative towards me, and I realised that I don't actually have the problems they suggested. They are the people with the problems, and I've been able to hand that back to them and not let them get to me anymore. So I would say if anyone has any kind of struggles emotionally, because this is so far reaching, I never realised I was going to come out the end of it the way that I have. As I said before, I thought I would come out of it being able to go out to a restaurant and eat a meal or sit with my family and enjoy food, where actually I have changed in, again, taking more pride in my appearance, which I've kind of given up on. I've kind of thought I have got something to contribute to people around me, that my illness isn't going to dictate who I'm going to become from here on in. I can dictate who I'm going to become from here on in. I'm not just somebody who's disabled and has been written off by people in society or whatever. I may not be able to do all the things I did before, but I'm still a strong person, and I've got a bright future ahead of me. I'm still relatively young, and the future's pretty positive, and that a few months ago would not have been the case at all. The future seemed quite a frightening prospect for me. I didn't want to be disabled. I didn't want not to be able to work in the job that I did before. I didn't want any of those things to happen to me. But now I can look at it and say, this is a fresh start. This is something, I can look for something now that I want to do, that I might be good at doing, that I will enjoy doing, and I will face the future in a much more positive way. And that is really down to the Thrive programme. So I think it's there for everybody, because anyone in whatever walk of life you're in, however successful you are, whatever you do, whether you're married, single, whatever it is, we all have niggling doubts or worries in our heads, and really you'll discover during the Thrive programme that those can only really be destructive if you allow them to. And the Thrive programme teaches you not to let them do that, to let you be in control of you and who you are. So it's been an amazing journey for me. Surprisingly short journey. That was another amazing part, that it didn't actually take that long to be coming out now, the end of this, who I now am. So I think Stevie has been fantastic. It's been a journey that he's done alongside me. He hasn't left me on my own to do it. and I know he won't leave me on my own in the future if I do have any wobbles or anything. I'm not envisaging that happening, but it's well worth doing, and I recommend it highly.